34 seconds, Francis Maxwell. What does that mean? You have to answer the question, Francis.
Microwave. No, I was going to go the dirty route, but I don't want to do that. So microwave dinners have been taking longer than a Ronda Rousey fight. Your ability to bore me over baseball takes probably longer than 34 seconds. Yeah, I could last 34 seconds listening to you talk baseball. So that shows how quick Ronda Rousey ends her fights.
Seriously. So UFC 190. So Bethe Correia. I think it's really funny when she went back. When you look back at the pre-fight weigh-ins, and she's screaming in her face.
It looked petrifying.
I say this with complete honesty, like, unless you actually have a chance of beating one of these people, I'm sorry, Ronda Rousey specifically, shut the fuck up.
True.
Like, I don't care about the hype that you're trying to bring to the fight. You lost in 34 seconds. It is embarrassing. And even more importantly, she lost at the one thing that she is good at, combos, punching, and speed.
Yeah, but the thing is like, when you're fighting someone as prominent as Ronda Rousey, you're not going to try and just do anything to try and get inside her head.
I would speak a different language to her.
I think she was speaking a different language.
Go after her. She goes after her family.
Oh no, that was nasty. That was nasty. I'm talking about the press conference.
You're dumb. I have no other way to put it.
That was way below the belt, talking about her father's suicide, and basically trying to make light of it and make some comments that she laughed at after it. That for me is nasty. That's below the belt.
Kudos to Ronda Rousey for not kicking the shit out of her right there.
Oh yeah, but you could tell how much pride Ronda Rousey took in knocking her out, and she walked away and kind of looked back. I didn't know if someone as a lip sync expert could say something, but I think she said something like, "Yeah,
don't cry.
That's what's up."
She said, "Don't cry."
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Badass.
All right, it makes me like it even more.
Quote, by the way, Bleacher Report, the pace and in-close striking were supposed to favor the Brazilian bruiser, which is Bethe Correia, but Rousey's elevated combinations with punching speed were simply too much.
Well, that's what it shows when we were watching the Instagram videos, right? She wasn't just doing that for the camera.
Because the whole fight was an Instagram video.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You tweeted that.
But bam! You know she's good when you can fit her whole fight into one single Snapchat story or Snapchat video. Because your stories can go on longer. That's why I was kind of worried about the tweet, whether it would hit home or not, but like 25 retweets later, who's laughing now?
I was one of the retweets.
Did you? Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Still not as good as my Pirlo retweets. I think I got like 130 on that.
Did you see the NYCFC Yes Pirlo Yes Party?
Yeah, best t-shirt ever.
Ever made. Maybe Ronda Rousey will win one to keep this on topic. But, of course, the internet always reacts fantastically to 34-second UFC fights. And I have more on that later, at least my opinion on it. But we move forward. Tweets, roll them. You told Ronda Rousey during UFC 190 stare down, quote, "I will knock you out." 34 seconds determined this was a lie.
It's straight to the point. So this is Maury. Yeah. Wow, he looks as if he's got a little bit older.
Yeah, seriously.
From when I first started watching him.
Brick wall?
Yeah, the brick wall's pretty good. I like the brick wall scenario and like I'll set. But yeah, that's straight to the point. 34 seconds. I mean, you could basically put the meme with just 34 seconds in the front and it will still get the message across. It was absurdly fast.
Yeah, thanks to EJ Paraloco 2009. We never give out, we don't shut out the sources.
Well, no wonder. Look at the names.
You can't pronounce them. So Sean M. Kearns, betcha be like, oh shit, Straight Outta Compton comes out in 2 weeks. Smash down on that. I'm excited for that movie. Are you going to see that movie?
Oh, I'm absolutely excited for that movie. I'll probably review it, and I'm looking forward to it coming out.
Soundtrack too?
Soundtrack would be awesome.
Fantastic. Moving forward. Novel Motors. So we had to go over.
Yeah, we had to figure out what this meant, but I guess it means like when you say bye Felicia, it's meaning like you're too irrelevant for me to talk to you, basically. So it's just like, bye, Felicia. So this is a clear example of that. I never noticed how extravagant her fall was until like I watched it back in these different angles. Because when you see it, she looks as if she just falls. But now when you see it this time, it's like literally a face plant. Like she had no control. She was knocked clean out, face to the canvas.
Urban Dictionary
has
told me that bye, Felicia means if your name is too irrelevant, you just replace it with Felicia.
It reminds me of the same thing as what Zlatan did once when he like turned someone round. He turned their shirt round to see what their name was. Like, I don't know your name. What does it say on the back of that? Great use from Zlatan.
Fantastic. Moving forward, next tweet. DINKUSMAXIMUS. Damn!
Oh, there's nothing better than the slow motion punches. Look at that. Look at the ripples on her face, man. That is just that reminds me, just remember the slow motion punch of that one where you consistently use the same paraphrase to describe it?
State lines.
Who was that again?
It was Canelo Alvarez versus James Kirkland.
Nice, yeah.
Next. Darrenrovell. Francis?
Rousey's total time in the octagon last 4 fights, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Tyson's 4 shortest title fights combined, 10 minutes, 47 seconds.
And for boxing, that's still extremely impressive.
Yes.
So I think this wasn't so much a tweet regarding, and this is where we're going to start transitioning, by the way, into the Mike Tyson, Ronda Rousey
comparison.
Woman rant.
Yes.
Romance, whatever you want to call it. 10 minutes, 47 seconds in boxing, to me, is equivalent in a way to a 2 minutes and 10 seconds in the UFC.
Yeah.
Just because UFC fights are already 7 rounds shorter, although they go 2 minutes extra, blah, 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 blah. So next one, all right, Lolo-Jones. How much are these chicks paid to get knocked out in seconds? I can't fight it, but I'll prolong it and run circles for at least a minute. So,
funny comment.
Lolo-Jones.
Yep.
You know Lolo-Jones?
I know Lolo-Jones.
Track and field runner for the U.S. Olympic team. Says she can last a minute with Ronda Rousey by just simply avoiding her.
Well, Turtle in Entourage tried to do the same thing, but unfortunately that octagon becomes a lot smaller when you have someone who knows their way around it. I know that was a movie, but the same way.
How many gold medals does Turtle have?
0.
Yeah.
So it's true, like you could think you can run around that octagon the same way. I hate to go back to soccer, but it's the same thing like, oh, you missed that many penalties, put me in front, I could score into that goal, it's a wide open net. But when you're in that surrounding and you're facing someone who is so devastating at what she does, that octagon becomes a tiny, tiny little shape, which you move any 2 steps and you're caught.
People misconceive in general how small an octagon is and how small boxing ring is.
Yeah,
When you actually see a live fight, you see up close that there is nowhere to run.
Well, that's why,
because the WWE ring was always bigger. There's a lot more room, so some people have that misconception. But no, it's tiny. You don't have space. You are totally and utterly fucked if you get into the wrong corner.
And that's why there was an article I read about Mayweather, which actually he says one of his best qualities is he makes the ring seem huge when he's defending, because he finds space where no one else would find. Like when he's cornered, you expect him to take a few punches. He somehow finds another inch or 2 which just evades the punch. That's why he is a fantastic boxer.
Boxing Voice, Jim Lampley's show on HBO Sports, always talks about working the angles. The same thing can happen with UFC to keep it on point with that. Inside the octagon, it's just, I mean, and this sounds geometrically funny, there's more angles to work with.
Wait, there is?
Because there's more sides.
More sides to it.
How many is 8?
8.
What else has 8?
What?
What else has 8?
What else has... plenty of things have 8. An octopus?
Like what? Okay, and? A stop sign?
A stop sign is 8. Are we testing my knowledge here?
Then you
What
mentioned the octopus.
Kate Plus 8, the show that's on Lifestyle.
You just leave John
How do I know that?
What are you leaving John out of the equation?
Who?
It's John and Kate plus 8.
No, that changed. You're so behind the day.
Did they get divorced?
They got divorced and it's Kate Plus 8. You are the worst lifestyle TV you watch.
Now it is Jim and Kate plus 8. John has been replaced. It's Francis and Kate
Jason,
plus 8.
Jason and Kate plus 8. Could you handle those 8 kids?
I mean, maybe.
I'd pay to see it. I would pay to see it.
How does Kate look after 8 kids?
She's pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good. All right, let's go back. What's happening with Tyson and
We have
Ronda?
more Mike Tyson related things, which is fun. We love Iron Mike. Do your Mike Tyson impression.
I'm on the phone, Kate, and had sex with you. So Mike Tyson said he sees himself in Ronda Rousey. Nearly 30 years ago, he also improved to 12-0 wins KO in first round. So you were saying that, I mean, there is a lot of comparison, but you're talking about the pace in which she knocks out her opponents is very similar on par to how quick Mike Tyson would in his day. Obviously, the minutes and seconds are not exact because there's shorter rounds in boxing and they go longer.
It doesn't just start there with the speed of it. It's, in a way, the power behind it. No, you can't really compare UFC fighters to boxers. There's just too many different elements of the MMA that doesn't cross over to the sweet science of boxing, which makes me sound biased towards boxing because I am. But Mike Tyson, power. Ronda Rousey, power. They were the most feared to step into any sort of ring or octagon with, and they both still are. Mike Tyson, arguably the strongest puncher to ever exist in boxing.
Well, the same way that when Mike Tyson was fighting, he installed the fear of God in his opponent. And I think Ronda Rousey is very similar, because you can be great. Are you trying to tell me someone comes into the ring with Mayweather, they're scared? No, they just don't know if they'll win, because Mayweather is too good to basically beat. Same way in the octagon. I don't know who else compares with her in terms of her comparison to Mike Tyson, as she installs the fear of God into those who fight against her, and the fact that they know they can be knocked out at any moment. That's what Mike Tyson did. If you watch any of his interviews, he would know in the first 5 seconds of the stare down whether he was going to win that fight. He would say, I could see it in their eyes. They were scared of me. And he would go out there and he would knock them out instantaneously.
You know, Francis, you're a piece of shit.
You're a piece of shit, yeah. I love Mike Tyson.
So all tweets and memes aside, Ronda Rousey's fight, 34 seconds long, it really made me think, and I went to a bar to watch this fight, so A, I didn't have to pay for it in the first place, but the one thing I came away from this fight, I would never pay in my life for a Ronda Rousey fight. I'd also never paid for a ticket to see her fight.
Yeah.
Unless the card itself had a certain amount of fights to it.
That's what I was going to say.
Unlike, real quick, I wanted to say, Tyson, who at least wasn't knocking people out in 34 seconds.
Has done it before, though.
Has done it. I mean, he's done, well, first round, first minute was Muhammad Ali. Greatest ever lived. But Tyson in general has done first round knockouts, which are amazing. But I'd be pretty pissed off if I paid for that fight, too.
So that's why the difference comes between boxing and UFC, because we said that you get more value for money in terms of the undercards. There's a lot of big fights that happen in undercard, whereas to go back to Maypac, you didn't really get any known undercards. There might have been some, but I do follow boxing, and I didn't see any that I was like excited to see. So being honest with that, but we talked about whether Ronda Rousey could compare to someone like Conor McGregor, and many people in the comment section, rightly so, said that when it comes to UFC, she's not as big a star as Conor McGregor because of how dominant she is. This is kind of it's kind of a tiresome argument to make because it comes down to the one thing. She's so dominant in her field that people don't want to pay just to watch a 30-second knockout, which is funny because the main quality of the UFC is its knockout value, right? Because people want to see that, but then they don't want to see it in 30 seconds because they feel like they're not getting all the blood and gore that you could get of a full fight.
Right, and again, and it's not like something like Ronda Rousey's going to step back and
no,
be like, you know,
no
I got to go like maybe second round, 30 seconds.
Unless you're Conor McGregor.
But it doesn't. But again, Conor McGregor's fights, at least when he was tested a little bit from Chad Mendes, he still took that a full round and a half. You got to see him test out where they were standing. And again, that's another reason why I'm just also a huge fan of boxing, because usually the first 2 rounds of boxing, unless you're seeing Canelo Alvarez fight, is you're going to get the boxers figuring out each other's strategy.
Yeah, there's anticipation value.
Right, you're not going to see someone going out for a knockout punch for the most part in the first 2-3 rounds.
Well, the reason why I mentioned McGregor is because it seems like it's this. He seems to predict which round he's gonna.
That's badass. And he's really something to look forward to.
And he's nearly done it spot on in every time. I think he offered Dana White a betting chance to try and go. He's like, I'll knock him out in the second round, and he's like, I think he offered him a substantial amount of money, and Dana White was like, nah, because he obviously believes that Conor McGregor knows his ability, and if he's viewing a fighter like Chad Mendes, he's not going to get a first round knockout because he probably, if he went for it, could leave himself susceptible to more takedowns like he faced against Mendes. But I do have to just go back that this is why Conor McGregor, and I think you agree, is going to be a bigger fighter in the UFC, because we're going to look so much more forward to Aldo McGregor fight, because you're getting two guys who are on at the moment, from looking at it, are on a similar stage, right? So in the similar foundation level. Aldo's still the superior fighter in terms of the more fights that he's had, but you're getting two major competitors. Where's the two competitors from Ronda Rousey? Where's someone else that's on her level that's going to come at her?
After Chad Mendes, it's becoming very clear that this fight is not in Aldo's favor.
Yeah.
It's going to be in McGregor's. Before Chad Mendes, it was in Aldo's favor. Even if McGregor were to beat them, that's the whole what-if game. But most importantly, about McGregor becoming a bigger UFC star, if for whatever reason, and again, this is the what-if game, Aldo knocks out McGregor or vice versa in the first 30 seconds of a round, the shock value of that would be through the roof. The same as if Bethe Correia somehow knocked out Ronda Rousey at any point in that fight. But no, what happened, the inevitable, it was a 34-second fight. I mean, what do you try? 34 seconds. You didn't get a fight.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why you can't really hold it against her. You said she's not going to come out and dance around for the entertainment value. To draw. She's the best at her sport. It is entertaining to watch, but I do agree. I just don't want to pay that amount of money to watch a 34-second fight. And I think it's going to get shorter, because there's no one that's going to compete with her. Who's the next challenger? Who can we wait to see?
She's not going to succumb to going to Cyborg's class. Cyborg should have to go down to her class, because she's, I mean,
the best.
It makes sense why she wouldn't. Why would Ronda Rousey do it? Explain to me.
Is that your transition out?